All right, all right. What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. How about this? Let's trade shoes. Talking about race. If because everybody has a racial stereotype, right? So in black and white, this is America, right? So if we traded situations, hypothetically, would it still be looked at the same? Like, what I mean by that is, say Asians was on top of the food chain, you know, and Asians held Hispanics had the white black history. So Asians would be the white people, Hispanics would be the black people. Now, what would the animosity be? You know, would people say, you know, those Asians are successful because they enslaved those Hispanics and they made them build up this America, this hypothetical America. And the history will say these Asians, you know, the Asians, they freed the Hispanics from slavery. And then the Hispanics went on in a Reconstruction period, and then the Asians, how can I say, the Asians started their own Jim Crow against the Hispanics, you know. And so it went back to that. So then the Hispanics had to go through Jim Crow, and then the Hispanics went through the Civil Rights Movement, and the Hispanics got their rights, right? Their rights, quote unquote. And then every time the Hispanics make a move up, the Asians will knock them down, sabotage them. The Hispanics have been part of every American thing that the Asians have taken credit for and done, right? But they didn't get much credit for it. What would happen? You know, and you know, they got to a certain point, then the Asians threw drugs in the Hispanic community. And let me see. And the Asians got the drugs from blacks and Native Americans. How about that? Blacks were in another country, and Native Americans was in another country, right? And the blacks and Native Americans, you know, came into this country as immigrants. And, you know, their country sold drugs to the Asians to sell to the Hispanics. And guns and other vices, right? And we all decided to go into these Hispanic neighborhoods and make sure these Hispanics aren't necessarily, their kids don't grow properly and they won't be employed by us. So we have our own businesses and we make our money off of their labor and their money. Should the Hispanics be mad at us? Because we're just living the Asian dream. The Asian dream. Right? So if the Hispanics, we can understand they have an issue with Asians. But us blacks and Native Americans, we don't get it. Like, what's y'all problem with us? We didn't do nothing to y'all. You know, just because we came in your neighborhood and started all these businesses because we got some money from our homeland, you know, and we just wanted to come here for that Asian dream. And your Asian ran government gave us business loans that they wouldn't give you. Why are you mad at me? You know, just because I own some of these stores and we charge you extra for, you know, we make you pay extra for subpar things, doesn't mean me and you should have a problem. I'm just benefiting off the dream. You know, and we can all blame Hispanics for all the ills of the world. You see, look at what they've done to their communities. Look at what they're doing to themselves. You know, so what? I mean, just because the Asians, enslaved them and oppressed them and have miseducated their children, and just because we came here and we've put businesses all around it, we make sure that they aren't economically viable because we've blended into the Asian dream. You know, they got issues. They need to handle their own problems. I mean, we didn't create their problems. Now, would the Hispanics be right? They say, it's funny how you just fell in line with kicking us while we down and throwing us under the bus. But when them Asians come around and they dump on y'all, you blacks and you Native Americans, y'all just roll over like some little punks. So how could you? How were you? Blacks and Native Americans so manly and so powerful and so strong, but when these Asians come around, y'all punk out. But then y'all want to talk crazy to us Hispanics, to those Hispanics. I don't know, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Would it still make sense? Like, if Asians, even though if Asians were the mass populations and Asians committed most of the crime in the country, but Asians covered up after Asians. When Hispanics committed crime and then, they just happen to be plastered all on the news is a Hispanic face in every city when a Hispanic person does crime. And when Asian people have scandals, it's kind of swept under the rug because we see good Asian people on TV every day doing good, successful Asian things, right? We got an Asian God and Asian angels and all the ills of the world are Hispanic characters. Vato is the devil, right? So everybody we all have a common enemy because you got to watch out for them Hispanics. They'll rape you. They'll hide your kids, hide your wife. They'll take everything from you. They shouldn't be trusted. Now us blacks and Native Americans, come to this Asia and Asian country and tell all these other people, how come you can't get ahead? I mean, I came and did just fine. I came from my home country that Asians don't run. They meddle in our countries, but they don't run our countries. We made our own money where we were at, and we have our own little success, and we love our country so much because we doing good where we at that we gave up our whole country and came here to benefit off your work because we all come from other countries and benefit off of the Hispanic civil rights movement and the Hispanic ingenuity and Hispanic economy of being able to overcharge them and use them and benefit off of their culture. Yeah, they have no right to be upset about that. We're sleeping with all of these Hispanic, the Asians, the blacks, and the Native Americans are sleeping with all these Hispanic women because we have power. But then we lose our minds if a Hispanic man, how that Hispanic man get with an Asian woman? How you see all these Hispanic men with these black women and these Native American women? Who they think they are? Now Hispanic men are the picture of masculinity, right? And now, and all of our children are looking up to, Alejandro James. I don't know how to say James in Spanish. something like that. Carlos Durant. You know, we like, oh, what we doing? And then, you know, so all the Asian kids look up to Hispanic athletes and entertainers. And us blacks and Native Americans are mad because, you know, well, how come we can't get no recognition? I mean, we don't complain if y'all get shafted. We don't have representation because when we came from our country to here, I mean, nobody patted us on the back and did anything for us. So why should they do it for you, right? Like, does this analogy actually make sense? Does it look like, you know, Hispanics are getting a raw deal? Just, you know, my thought on it. We out.